Okay, everybody. I'm going to remain calm because I was recording this entire tutorial. It started recording and I was all the way through, almost completely done. Looked up to see, how my time was going because I'm trying to keep them considerably short, and my screen on my phone was black. I did some research. It recorded about 9 seconds. Basically me saying, hi and all that. I looked to see why it stopped recording, and a certain person that I'm not talking to had called 11 times in a row, back to back to back to back, and then texted me several times, angry that I won't take her calls. I'm not taking her calls because I can't handle her drama, her constant bickering, her constant. It's just too much. I guess I have to block her because that was the end of it. The constant phone call kicked my video off. Apparently she'd been like, because I hit record, pause, and got everything ready. The video was still up. I hit record, saw the little record light started, so I started to talk to you all and got busy. It was recording. The little seconds were ticking. So apparently she was calling all amidst all of that, and it kicked it out. While I'm recording, my phone does not let me know anybody has called. So I am beside myself because this turned out so gorgeous. Here's my octopus. I'm going to tell you what I've done. We're going to go into doing this pendant. I used a bail from Bargain Bead Box. I did use a 6mm jump ring from my stash. It's a heavy one. It will hold it because this octopus does have some weight. I used the 4mm bicones from the June bead box. I used some of the 2mm, what do you call these? Cubes from my stash. I used the big metal spacer beads, and then I just kept it short. This is really short. This is going to be up high on the chest. I have cut my chain into 2 pieces. I have a large lobster clasp. We are going to go ahead and put the, I've got everything all over now, the chain on the other side. Other than the jump rings and the lobster clasp, the clamshells and that, everything is from Bargain Bead Box or from her sister store. I am so sorry about the missing video footage. I was just trying to get a bunch of videos up for today so that this whole week I did not have to do anything except for, get ready for Saturday. And maybe work on some things and not have to record every single step of the way. Yes, that's closed. I am using an 8mm, or is that 10? Might be a 10mm jump ring. I'm doing that so I don't have to offset my chain. And this is a big, heavy jump ring. Listen for that click, click. awesome? Amazing. This has got just a small amount of beads, so that if a guy wants to buy it, it's got just enough color. If a woman wants to buy it, it's got enough color to please her. It is about 20 inches, 21 inches, somewhere around there. And so it is made to be either for a guy or for a lady. And again, no matter what chain I use, my bead mat is going to grab it. It's a, you know, drying mat. But look at this. I love it. And I use these little 2mm cubes. It helps bring your eye up through, instead of there being like a bunch of blue. You have a little break that brings your eye all the way up through the piece, not just up, there's a blob of blue, up, there's a blob of this, you know. It brings the interest through the piece. So there is that. We're going to set him aside. I am so sorry about that. Yeah, I'm not happy. We're going to work on this gorgeous pendant. This pendant is, yes, it's an Amazonite. It's a flower Amazonite teardrop pendant. It is 35mm, and I did try to find a way to wire wrap this and stuff and make it look good. I was going to go up through and just dangle it from a piece of beading wire. I did not like that. What I did like was taking my pendant. Let me turn my flash on. Taking my wire, one piece through here, bringing it through. Well, it'll go from the front to the back, but you get the picture. One piece will go through here, like so. One piece will go through here, so it's hanging in the center of the project. And that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to go ahead and get everything ready. And I'm just going to use, I think I'm going to get some, they're not really fixed, but let me get this together. We'll do this again. I'm so sorry, guys. They aren't fixed, but they are usable. In the last divot, I'll slide it close, crimp it down. He wasn't even down there. Oh my gosh, guys. Maybe it's time I just took a break. Turn it sideways. In the last hole, come on, crimp it down. And he's holding. Yay! Now, I'm going to take my crimp pliers. I'm going to grab my crimp cover, put it in that last little hole, if I can. And I'm going to go Pac-Man on him. Come on. Put it over the crimp and squeeze down. Now I'm going to round him. so he looks like a nice little bead. I am going to kind of finagle him a little bit because he is crooked, and I may have to undo this. Guys, this video may never make it out if I can't get him to look decent. There we go. Let's do it with these pliers. These crimp covers from Amazon are really, really sturdy. The ones that I get normally are very malleable, and they are like, they'll bend real easy. So that one's on. I'm going to try to do the other side while I'm right here. And I won't make you watch. Okay, guys, I'm not going to lie. That took like half an hour. I think I went through like 6 crimps, okay? I'm trying to get that crimped. So I decided to go with the blue right next to it because there is some blue in this pendant, and I wanted to draw that blue out. And then I want to add some of these tiny little 2mm beads from my stash, because I want to bring out that sandy color, you know, that kind of reminds me of, you know, when the tide is either going out or coming in and it's washing up on the beach, and you see that the colors on the sand under the water. It is just a gorgeous, and I love it. And I miss going to the ocean, to the beach. I haven't been in so long, and it is just beautiful just to walk along the edge of the water when the waves are just gently coming in. And that's kind of what this reminds me of. So I'm adding in some of that, and let's see. Don't want to put too much blue in because I don't want to overload the blue. So we're just going to go with the beachy colors, and we're just going to do this as I go. Are we still recording? We're still recording. Going to be watching that closely. And then I'm going to add, I kind of want to separate them. Don't want to stack, stack, stack. I know so many people are like, oh, color blocking is the thing, but you just have your eye looking at one thing. Blah. I want my eyes to travel and to enjoy the colors. And maybe that sounds crazy to some people, but you know, why keep yourself minimalized to just one? Do I have another dark one? I do not. So we'll just go with whatever I have here. You know, anyways, that's just my take on it. So let's see. Let's do that. Let's add some more of the sandy color. Kind of would like to transition this to use some of the white. Let's see what happens. It is just such a bright color. If it was a little more muted, it would be different, but it's so like in your face bright. I don't know if I can mute it down. By just not using too many. Like muting it like that is fine. It's just, if you use too many, it's just kind of like they're in your face. If you know what I mean. Let's grab one for this side. Yeah, like I just don't want to add too many. Let's go ahead and put 2 of these. Bring in one of those. I have more of these over here. They're darker, but I can bring the strand up and dump off some more. I think up here would be a good time to maybe bring in another blue. I don't think a turtle would look good. No, definitely not. Wrong vibes. And I think this would be just way too big. Blue would be wrong. So let's get some more of these out because we're going to need them. I have an odd number of those, so I was after some more blue. Wondering about doing something kind of like this with this with this. Let's see what happens. Now that kind of mutes that white. It don't look so bright. And it carries that blue through nicely, so we'll do that. And then another couple of these. And then I'm going to clamp it down and do the other side with you guys. Okay, let's put a clamp on this so I don't lose it. So here we have the white. I want 2 of these. To one of these peach coral colored window beads. 2 more of the little 2x2 cubes. Yep, I need to grab a couple more blue. Looks like I need another white. So here is a blue. So we have the white, 2, window, 2, blue, window, white, window, blue, and 2 more of these. 1, 2. Now I want to count. So we have a blue, 1, 2, 3, window, 1 window, 1 white, 2 window, 2 blue, window, white, window, blue, 2. So I am out of the window beads, and I think that looks lovely, and I'm going to stop right there. So we're going to go ahead, and I'm getting a blood blister where I pinched myself. So I have a bunch of crimp tubes here. We're going to get a couple of clamshells out. I did not get them out yet. And I'm not going to use that chain. I'm going to get some chain from my stash. I just think it would look more lovely. I have some bargain bead box chain. Let me see what we have here. And I'm in the wrong drawer. That's not bargain bead box. Let's see. I think this would be lovely. I don't know what chain this is. I'm thinking this might be some of that, it might be gold filled. This will look lovely with it. So we'll use this chain here. And let's start with this end. We're going to put a clamshell on. Now remember, we have this is already fastened down here, so I'm going to just open my clamshell, drop it all the way down, make sure my beads are all the way down, but they're loosey-goosey. And I'm going to take a crimp tube, put it on. Any of my leftover gets used in bracelets. As you've seen, the bracelet I made earlier was from leftover pieces. And making sure it's all down. Reach in with my pliers. Grab my crimp tube and make sure it's pressed down on. And flatten. Smushy smush. It is really, really windy. I'm going to pull, and it is on there tight. I'll reach in there with my nippers. Make sure I don't cut anything I don't need to cut. Trim that just above the crimp. And I'll set my wire aside. I'm going to do the same on this side. Open. Crimp tube. Mash it. Trim. Fold it over. Squeeze it shut. Tighten it. Do the same here. Hug. Tighten. Measure this. I'm going to make this about 20 inches. It is 7.5 basically. So I will need about 12.5 inches of chain. So I will cut 2 pieces at 6 1/4. Well, one piece at a little over 6. That'll be for the jump ring. One piece at 6.5. Or one, that piece will be for the longer piece will be for the jump ring. The shorter piece will be for the lobster. That's for the jump ring. We'll put all this back in there. There's actually 2 pieces of chain in there. So how cool is that? Put that away. I don't have any of that out. There is a 6mm jump ring out. I will grab a lobster clasp. Oops, wrong one. Here's my lobster. And I need $4mm jump rings. I need 3. So I'm going to take jump ring. Oh, there it is. Get this out of our way. These out of our way. We're going to open it. Put on our necklace. Add our chain. This is the shorter piece, so it gets the lobster. The lobster takes more room than the piece with the jump ring. So to make this lay level in the back of your neck evenly, you want to offset your chain just by maybe 1/4 of an inch, depending on how large your lobster is. So I am adding, oops, my chain to another 4mm jump ring, adding my lobster, closing this up. Hear that click click. Make sure it is tight. It needs to go that way just a shade. There we go. That is done. Now we're working on this side. We don't need those in our way. And we need a 4mm jump ring. Open necklace. Chain. I almost dropped it. Close that. And then with a 6mm jump ring, we're going to open it. This side did not get a jump ring, so it got a little bit longer chain. Right on there. And we close it. And we're done. I am so sorry about this video, guys. So there is that way of making a necklace from a pendant that you don't have a way to actually hang it. I actually love, whoops, let me turn it over. I'm trying to hold it up and down and the wire actually goes sideways. So it's wanting to fall out of my hand. But I love the way this looks like the ocean. It is so pretty, guys. Anyways, there is this pendant and necklace. It is done. And then I have the octopus, and he is done. So there's both of those. Thank you guys for hanging out with me. Everybody, thanks for hanging out with me. Love you.